I've been procrastinating for months about making the next video on my YouTube channel. I was just about to do it today, and obviously a stupid shelf just fell completely on my couch. So now I have to fix it before I actually get to the video. I'm actually not gonna fix it and just get down to it because I know that if I do it, I'm just gonna keep procrastinating. Generally, I don't really know how to actually handle this YouTube thing. I feel like I tried already a YouTube channel doing coffee in Spanish. And it worked out well, but it just wasn't the thing that I wanted to do. And I know it sounds super cliche and that you have to try and figure things out on your own, but YouTube always ends up being the thing that my life evolves around, or revolves around. I think that's the word in English. I think it's just because I consume it quite a lot. Maybe it's just that the algorithm tends to suggest me better videos that it's more suited to me, since it's the social media that I consume the most. And obviously there's a part of me that wants to have a YouTube channel and build cool things. I don't really know if I want to make it as in like, oh wow, I'm this builder and want to do tech stuff. So I think I'm just gonna do for a while these type of vlog videos and talk to the camera, see what it feels natural. Because if I don't create something, I realize that my life just feels like if I'm holding something back. Even if these videos are not seen by anyone else, they somehow feel therapeutical for me to make this. I think it's just because I know that no one is really seeing them right now. So that makes me want to be a version of myself or say things that I wouldn't say to anyone else in my life. Just because I know that no one around me is gonna find me. I feel like you have to be really big, and at some point people around me are actually going to find me. But this is a secret that only my girlfriend knows, and I don't really want anyone else to know. Because in all honesty, I just don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. And I feel like I'm keeping trying new things. I started university with software engineering and I do love coding, I do really like it. But lately, I've been thinking more and more about what am I gonna do when I finish university. Because I think that I'm really good at studying and understanding the theory of things. But like many things, all of it is just practice. It's not really about what you know, it's about what you can apply. So there's like this part of me that's saying, well, what's gonna happen after you finish university? Like, what's going to be the new excuse that I'm gonna tell myself to procrastinate actually failing? Because in the end, that's what it is about. I have like 5 GitHub repositories of projects that I haven't been launching just because I feel like I'm gonna fail at them. And it's one of those that you have that you can't really fail if you don't technically try. So if you're at the door of actually trying, it's completely different than if you try and fail. And I know that I want to preach that, oh yeah, you have to build things or you just have to try and then pick yourself back up. And to some degree, I've done that with a lot of things in my life. I don't know, maybe it's just that I watch too many movies and too many animes and things, and you just want to be that outlier. I just want to be that outlier where everything goes my way and everything just gets completely aligned in my life. Like, I don't know what happens to Luffy in One Piece, that suddenly everything happens his way. The moment that you actually start trying and those things might not happen, you just become more of a statistic. A part of me also understands that that's more of a real life path than anything else. Like, it's very, very rare for people to actually have to overcome the things that I've had to overcome in my life and become incredibly successful. Realistically, probably my kids are the ones that are going to be a bit more in a better state. But that doesn't mean I don't want to try. So I'm kind of on this transition where I'm not doing neither. And it's just so daunting. Not necessarily daunting, but it just weighs on me so much that I'm not actually trying, but at the same time, I'm acting like if I'm trying. I am building things, I'm just not putting them out there just because I think that I'm not in a position yet where I can face that failure of launching something and no one showing up. And there's also a bit more of a cynical part of me that says, well, what's the point of it if everything is marketing nowadays? Everyone now can have a product, and the important thing is to have a social media following, have a bunch of people that follow you. People are gonna buy more from who you are than for the actual quality of the product. But that's also a lie. There's people that actually build products that even I use. I have no idea who those people are, and I bought them just because their products were absolutely kings of the thing that I needed to use. So maybe I just have to face the actual reality that maybe I'm not as good as building things as I think, and that's why I need to fail. Because that failures are the ones that are gonna make me into the version of myself that can build profitable products. I have like this power, it's not really a pride thing, it's also not an ego thing, because I technically worked under people, but I think that I've never really had to work under people that I actually think that I respect. Because there's a part of me that has never really taken work seriously. Because the moment that I think I take work quite seriously, I will dedicate a lot of my time to it. And a part of me can't really withstand that, to do that to accomplish someone else's dream. I think that there are very few places for me, I'm not saying that this is the actual answer for everyone, but at least for myself, I don't think there's many places that I could work with that align with my personal self. Will I enjoy the work culture, and will I also enjoy getting paid for that? Because I'd rather make a lot less money doing my own thing than making a lot more money just being another cog of the machine. I always have this chat with a friend of mine that he makes a good amount of money. It's not like crazy money, but he definitely makes a good amount of money. And he's always a bit preaching about how easy his life is because he just has to do the bare minimum, because he's, let's face it, he's quite experienced and quite knowledgeable at what he does. So he only has to do the bare minimum. He can get away with doing a lot less. He has vacations, well paid, blah 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 blah. But a part of me says that has to be so fucking boring. Like, is that really all that life is? Is that really what life has to offer to us? That you find a great partner, that's great, I already have that. Then you find a work, you show up your 9 to 5 for like 30 years, and then you get to enjoy a little bit before you die. Like, is that really it? Maybe I've been just watching too many fucking animes, but I just refuse to live a life that is so monotonous. And I'm not saying that I wanna travel around the world, because that's just not me. I genuinely don't care about traveling. I feel like, for better or for worse, I've had to travel and live in different places at a very young age. So it doesn't really matter for me that much, that sensation of knowing new places. Maybe it's just because I've stayed within Europe for the last 9 years. But it all just feels a bit of the same, honestly. You can judge me for it, but Europe is just all the same country with a bit of different languages. Yes, you can have different things, they're completely different languages, blah 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 blah. Everything is old, they're just streets that are made for horses, and there's not really nothing too exciting other than museums and so on and so on. There's nothing like, wow, I can't believe this is here. It's all the same. So maybe what I need is just to travel outside Europe, but generally I've never been really interested in traveling. The only thing that I've realized that it makes me really completely be immersed into something, it's coding and anime. Honestly, those are the only two things that I could be like, wow, I can spend generally days just performing this activity and I would be completely locked in if I had anything else in my life. But obviously, I do have to make money and live my day to day, because even though I do think that I have to be delusional with my dreams in order for me to have a very unlikely lifestyle or a very unlikely set of future that I want to have for me and my family, that doesn't mean that I don't have to live in that I can't actually live in the moment, because I do have to be present in the moment. It's not, I don't want you to also think that I'm, oh my god, my life could have been so much better, or oh, my future is going to be so much better than what I have today. No, I try to live one day at a time. It does feel constantly like if I'm not really living to my true potential, and it kills me because I don't have anyone else to blame. Even though I have a really tough life situation because of what happened in Venezuela, there's still quite a lot of successful people from Venezuela. I mean, freaking Rawayana, which is an indie rock band, just won a Grammy. I think a part of me still wanted to use that as an excuse, and I do think that I had to eliminate that part of myself, because it's like it's something that you think, or that I think that I've overcame, but truly it's still there. Like, there's a part of me in the back of my head that says, oh, even though if I compare myself to my peers, I'm still in a really good position because they haven't had to live what I live. And some people might say, yeah, you're right. You had a really tough life. You actually done quite good for yourself. Life is much, much better than what the average people that left Venezuela could have had. I think that this is where my arrogance or my hunger comes into place, and that's where I say that that's not enough for me. That can't be enough for me because I need more. And I don't mean materialistic more. I mean more like I want to feel more fulfilled at work with the things that I'm doing. I do want to make more money, but I don't really care about having this mansion or fancy house. I don't really care about cars. I don't really care about anything else other than wanting to make decisions on my day-to-day that are not really relying constantly on money. I don't really want to be concerned about the future of my family because they're all broke. I don't really want to be concerned about the life that I'm gonna have because I do really want kids, even though no one in my generation does now. And I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford it. I do also think that there's a part of our generation that puts a lot of pressure on the materialistic things and that perfect future that we can have for our kids, when in reality kids don't really care as long as you pay the attention to them. But I think I have to eliminate that part of me. And like I say, I've been building stuff, but I never put it out. I just don't know why. I genuinely think that it's just because I'm still too afraid of failing. Now, why do I think that might be? what part of me am I hiding to myself that is still not allowing me to grow? I don't know if it's my peers that relatively the people that are around me are amazing, but they're not really particularly ambitious. I don't think it's my partner, because I think my partner is quite supportive and he really supports on everything that I want to do. And I don't know, it's like I'm demanding this excess of ambition from my peers, when in reality it should be me that should be leading the way, instead of relying on other people to make their life better for themselves. It's like I have this weird projection of my ambition into other people, that their life could have been much better because they've had a much set of better circumstances than I've had in my life. And that's just not fair, because it's also not their problem. They didn't live my life, so they don't crave the same things that I do. Everyone has their own opinions and thinks about what they want to do with their life. So I don't know, I've been feeling quite reflective on that, because I haven't been creating content in a while, excusing myself with that I'm just not really creative, or that I haven't had the time, or that it's too time consuming, or that I'm focusing on too many things at once. And I do think that I'm focusing too many things at once, just because I also think that I have another fear of, what if I focus all my efforts into just one thing and that one thing doesn't work out? When every book that I read, it essentially says that you just have to focus on one thing, because that's where your whole obsession needs to be in. A part of me gets it, but I don't think I'm brave enough to make that decision yet. Like when I had to compound all of the things that I'm doing, of personal training, of coding, of going to university, now I'm doing a fat loss phase that it's going great, but it's still quite time consuming. I feel like I'm always delaying my growth, and I don't know when I'm going to take myself seriously on this, but it does need to stop. I can't keep endlessly procrastinating the potential me. Like, I could be much better. And I don't want this to sound like I'm in a bad position now, but for me there's a fundamental difference between something being bad and something not being as good as it could be. And that really helped me frame how I think about my life. But I do also think that I need to be a little bit of shaken up. Life feels too easy. I don't know if this is because I lived in Venezuela and every freaking day there was a new crisis. Every time that I'm a big believer that we need stress. Like, we need some calculated stress in our life. And I just don't get enough stress. All of my life, for the majority of people, it seems like quite stressful, but I handle it super well. So I know that sounds arrogant, but I handle it really well. And it doesn't really stimulate me. Uni is not particularly challenging. Training clients is relatively easy, because it gets to a point that your experience becomes quite repetitive, so you know what to say to people very easily. It's more of a marketing problem about me getting found by clients. But at the same time, my one-to-ones are pretty much fully booked, so it's not like I have too much space to clients. And I think that next step that I need to do is just put myself out there and fail with coding projects. Because realistically, I have so many ideas that when I say it to people, they're like, wow, that's amazing idea. And I know that you shouldn't listen to that because it's fake feedback, blah 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 blah, but I at least could try building it and shipping it and then seeing if it's a dumb idea or not, rather than me always underestimating what people tell me, because it's kind of like the opposite of when you believe someone tells you that it's a good idea. I've heard it so much that every time that I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's not gonna be a good idea, because someone that doesn't know anything about this is validating it. So that clearly tells me the opposite of what I wanted to hear. And it's wrong, because I still should be able to try that. So I don't know. I don't really know. But there has to be a next level for me that I need to tackle right away, because time is passing. I'm not getting any younger. And obviously, it's not like I'm super old. I'm only 26, even though I look like fucking 40. But I need to move on from this stage. This stage of my life is probably a stage that I'm going to cherish in the future and be like, oh yeah, that era was quite nice because I tended to spend a lot of time with my girlfriend, I had a lot of free time, so on and so on. But it's just not fulfilling me. As weird as it sounds, I think that I just need to find ways of stressing myself. Let's see what I can find then.